I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad, I've punched him a few more times.
5 blokes outside my front door, can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
I'm very well, mate. Are you still working, or are you retired, or like are you more of a celeb these days, aren't you? Seen you in your pictures, and you've changed a little bit on your gram. You know, big time, mate. I mean, I used to be this sort of little kid. Now see you out. You've got a lovely young lady on your arm, and wearing the designer gear, and you're down the Chelsea. You know what I mean?
But the card's still going ahead, and rightly so, because there's 2 fights at the top of the bill which are really good.
Yeah, I mean, look, you sometimes. You've got a tough decision. You're going to lose money, people are going to moan because that's what they do, or you cancel the show and you break everyone's hearts who's been training for 10, 12 weeks, who only get paid when they fight, or you stand up, you be counted, you don't let people down, and you provide for your fighters, and that's what we've done. And we did it. You know, if there wasn't 2 fights like Harper Rankin and Hughes against Galahad, we may not have done it, but luckily enough, we had a card that was strong without Wood Lara. It's not the same card, obviously, but 2 intriguing fights, and looking forward to it. And not just 2 big sort of main event fights, but also a lot of our young stars stepping up into big fights as well. Yeah, look, Steffi's always outspoken. You know, he's a huge supporter of Terry Harper, and there's a lot of intrigue as well. Now, Terry Harper's looking to become a 2-division world champion, but she's stepping up from lightweight to light middleweight. So, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see if she still has the same movement, if she has the same durability, if you like. Hannah Rankin thinks she can walk through her. And, you know, Maxie Hughes is on the verge of a huge fight in the lightweight division, and Kid Galahad's coming up 2 divisions off the back of a devastating knockout loss. And I actually think that would be a really good fight. You know, you think that sometimes 2 southpaw counterpunchers might not be, but I actually think that will blend into a good fight. Look, I mean, it all started with Dan Raphael, you know, who basically got fed numbers from rivals and people with agendas and chose to print it. You know, he's not working with a big outlet at the moment, so he really can say what he wants. He rolled with it, and he never asked anyone for a comment. He just rolled with it. And obviously, people aren't going to tell you the truth. You see their reaction on social media, like, what do you think they're going to give you true numbers? Probably at the time he reported the numbers, probably the complete numbers weren't in anyway. So that's why DAZN wanted to come out last night and say, look, over 1 million people bought the fight. And then he comes out and says, yeah, but about 50% of those were in America. Bullshit. More like 80% of those were in America. And look, the numbers were probably a little bit lower than DAZN had anticipated. I actually think they're very solid. But to be, you know, a reporter and to not ask the other side for a comment and just to roll with numbers, I feel like was irresponsible. And a shame, because it's just built off people with agendas. So he piped up, then Ellerbe piped up, and I had to put him in his place. But he's getting better. He's starting to understand the sarcasm a little bit as well. No, but he was getting smashed. I mean, like, it was 10-7 rounds all over the gaff. And he had to say to the corner, pull me out of the fight, I'm done. And, you know, he's just like, I don't know. I know that I'm confident, and I don't think I'm deluded, but when I look at what I'm doing, you know, Canelo Triple G last week, AJ against Usyk a couple of weeks before, Ben Eubank coming up in a couple of weeks, Dimitri Bivol on a massive event against Ramirez in Abu Dhabi, Canelo Bivol earlier than that, Katie Taylor selling out Madison Square Garden and returning October 29th, October 15th, our first event in Brisbane, Australia, then we're going to Mexico, then we've got Dillian White returning, then we've got Estrada Chocolatito 3, then we've got Josh Warrington defending his world title. I'm sort of looking at what I'm doing going, Jesus Christ, who is doing that and who could do that? And then you get Leonard going to me, what is he doing? I'm thinking, we don't get any credit, and I don't expect it, but you can't honestly say that you could even lace my boots, because you couldn't. So it baffles me sometimes, and I just want to come out and say, as I had to last night, just put him in his box a little bit. But he's getting better, as I said, and I think he would have at least had a smile on his face last night, which is nice. Leonard was never relevant in the Floyd Mayweather world because it was Floyd Mayweather. And, you know, I was joked about him carrying his jockstrap, but that's what, you know, he was a PA, really. And I think that over the years, yes, he's involved with Mayweather Promotions. I actually think Leonard's done a good job on Gervonta Davis. And he's a star, but they've also filled arenas, and I don't mind the job they've done with him. But he should really be looking at me and saying, fuck me. I mean, not only is he handsome, but he is an outstanding promoter, and no one is doing what he is doing in the world of boxing. But obviously he has trouble doing that. But you've got to give me some kind of credit. Do you know what I mean? You can't just say, you don't know what you're doing and you're a laughing stock. Not really, mate. There's only one laughing stock here, and he goes by the name of Never... No, fuck that up. You can keep that in, because I don't want things to be cut. Cut it out. I'm taking those comments down because he's been written to and told to. Because, look, the banter's great and everything, right? And, you know, he's an average boxer and we have back and forwards. But what he said the other day was outrageous. And it was offensive because of our love for the sport and our love for the industry and our integrity in what we do. And also, not just that, but to target judges like Glenn Feldman and those guys, like, who are outstanding judges, like, it's just an idiotic comment. And I think sometimes he says things without thinking. But that's one that he's going to have to pay for, because he needs to take that back. And I'm sure he will apologise, because he has no respect for boxing if that's what he truly thinks. And he's an idiot if he thinks that kind of thing goes on in boxing. And he's coming in thinking he's a bit of a superhero. Yeah, I'm going to expose the world of bollocks. It's complete bollocks. He knows nothing about boxing. And to say, I don't understand why Matchroom are appointing these judges. We don't appoint judges. Do you not even know how it works? The commission appoints the judges. And those judges are outstanding judges. So we'll see what happens from here, but it'll be interesting. And look, I hate lawyers and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you have to protect your integrity and everything you've built. You know, we are a very proud family business that love the sport of boxing. And I'm not going to have someone like him say things like that publicly without an apology. So it's up to him. So we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, we've been moving along. I mean, we got the contracts. It wasn't quite in the format that we hoped, but that's been worked on now, and we're in a much better place. So no one's saying anything negative. We know we've got a long way to go, but in everyone's mind, we're trying to move forward with a fight, and nothing really to update you on other than hopefully we can get it over the line. Usual that you get a perfect contract, and it wasn't, and that's fine. But we talked about it, and we're on the way to getting to be in a much better place. It worries me that Muhammad Shah's come out and said he's fighting Tyson Fury on December 3rd. You know, so we'll have to see. But like, we're committed to that fight. AJ will fight in December, whatever happens, but we hope it's against Tyson Fury. I've said from the day we lost that purse bid, we have no problem with that fight taking place, but VADA testing must be in the contract. That's all we ask for. When you win a purse bid, you get 14 days to submit the contracts to the IBF. They sent the contract to us on the 13th day in the evening, you know, hoping that we'd sign it and send it back. And the IBF actually didn't put the pressure on us to sign that because they knew it. And they came to us, I think, 2 days ago and said, are you going to sign the contract? And we said, not without VADA testing. We wrote back to Lou DiBella. They knew VADA testing had to be in the agreement. They chose not to put it in. They said, we'll do it once you sign. Joshua Buatsi pulled himself out of that fight because he wasn't prepared to fight Jean Pascal without VADA testing in the agreement. Simple as that. It's because he didn't want the fight to happen on BT. Bollocks. It's up to Joshua Buatsi. And Joshua Buatsi, quite rightly, off the back of Jean Pascal's failed test, said, I want him to do VADA and I want it to be in the contract. That's all we asked. They knew it had to be in the contract and they chose not to put it in.
Yeah, I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more
There's 5
times.
blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.